Hello and welcome back to video 4. So I'm assuming you're logged in here now, and here's our client BA1002. You can click on here and you see the two sessions are in there, and we've reviewed all of that. Okay, so now we're going to do session 3. Now this time I'm going to show you how you do the session with the client in the room with you. So I'm going to assume this time that you're actually having the client input the measures when they're there in the room with you. Now, obviously, this will only be relevant if you're in a situation where you've got online access to a laptop or an iPad or such like. So it may not be relevant for you, but I feel you should know how to do it in any case. So we'll go to add the session. I'm assuming the client's with you right now. Now you'll notice this time the PRN15 isn't presented. So that's because the PRN15 is just done at assessment or first appointment and at final appointment. We've left the IES in here in case you want to do an IES in an interim session between the first session and your final completion session. But I'm going to assume in this case that you're not doing it, so we'll just unclick that there. And we go create the session, and now in the usual way, if you wanted, you could go from the paper measure in there, but we're going to do it differently this time, and we're going to click over here on the right side. You can see the buttons below open a new page for the client to answer the measure questions before the session or during the session, the beginning of the session. So you simply click on open here. Now the client could be in your office, or you could have an iPad that you've handed them or whatever, or they're sitting at your desk, at your desktop or at your laptop, and they simply click start, and the questions are presented to them then one at a time. They click next. I felt tense, anxious and nervous, and they just work their way through the questionnaire as so. And they click on down. You can see the questions are presented one at a time. Let's say they're not suicidal anymore and still having trouble getting sleep, but it's getting a little better perhaps than it was the last time, and they're not quite so despairing or quite so unhappy, but they're still having a lot of unwanted images. So once they complete it, there you see it's logging out. And the reason for that is because obviously if you've gone out of the room, for example, or whatever, then you don't want the client to be able to be in your system looking at everything else in there. So you're forced out of the system, or they're forced out of the system, and it's back to you to then take over, and you can log back in. And we will do that on the very next video. Thank you very much.